I wonder which one is better, competent or confident. I come across people who are way more confident, but they may not be very competent. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's pretty common for people to be one of the two. And it's usually like there are some people who are more confident, there are others who are more competent. And obviously the ideal would always be that, you're extremely competent and you also have the confidence to display those skills. Um, yeah, but like I would say there are certain jobs where one is valued over the other. Right. So, for example, let's say, you go to the doctor for surgery. Think about it. Would you want the doctor to be competent, but maybe not as confident? Or would you just want them to be confident and not competent? Right?
Yes,
Like the answer is obvious. You would want a competent doctor,
yes,
even if they don't have the best way to display that skill set when they're talking to you, or when you're kind of, socially conversing, or they may not be the best at kind of selling their service.
yes,
But if they have a history of great surgeries, like, you don't care about the confidence. And then there are, like the obvious jobs where confidence matters a lot. For example, salespeople, sales teams.
yes,
So if you're doing B2B sales, then of course you would want someone who is super confident, even if they may not be that competent with regards to, let's say, product knowledge or, something along those lines. So yeah, it depends on job to job. But you know, in
yes.
the end, both are pretty important. But like from your perspective, like let me pose the question back to you. Do you think that competence is valuable if, let's say, nobody even notices it because you don't have the confidence to display those skills out there?
Yeah, very good question. Thank you for reminding me of my past life because I've been struggling with confidence for a very long time. For those who know me, they know it's not just about me being shy or like an introvert. It just was like I couldn't find a purpose level to be confident, especially like I've been quite building for a very long time. Quiet building. Actually, I've been building my business very quietly for a very long
Yeah,
time, and I was struggling with this falling into a trap, possibly that I'm getting
yeah.
visible, but is my value matching my visibility or not? Because I don't want to come across as someone who may be perceived as confident but do not have the required confidence. Yeah. You know what I mean here? So, on that note, I wonder who gets to be promoted more often. Is the one who is more competent or confident?
So in the like, if you're asking with regards to, if you're, let's say, in a corporate, or like in some, you know
Yeah,
medium-sized startup or something, right? So confidence definitely helps there a lot, right? And by the way, whenever I'm saying like one or the other, it doesn't mean that the other is like zero, right? Like
yeah,
obviously there should be some aspect of competence associated with the confidence part or the other. But I would say confidence definitely helps more in the short term, because you're able to like display your skills in the best manner possible and put your best foot forward
yeah,
with whatever skills you may have. But in the long run, though, right? Like once you have been, for example, promoted, then whatever expectations are set are going to be around how competent you are, how good you are at your skills. If you're unable to display those skills and actually kind of, do justice to whatever you promoted yourself as, then you're going to go down the drain. It's going to backfire really bad
yeah,
on that respect. So you have to keep matching whatever you display as well, right? So early promotions, right? Maybe yes, but long-term growth in the company, competence is the way to go for it. I would even say that, like, if you are competent and it's a good organization, of course, like it depends on the corporate as well. Like it needs to have a culture where it actually rewards people who know how to get things done, who are great at their job. That it stays constant. Like assuming that is the case, competent people will eventually um, make it to the top,
yeah,
right? Like you even if they were not that confident at the start, like people are gonna realize who's bringing the actual output forward and who's actually bringing results. right? So that
Right.
becomes a good like cycle, where you may not be confident, but because you know how to get things done, eventually you get those promotions, if not early, later, and that builds up your confidence, and then like it's like a confidence keeps catching up with the level of competence that you have.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like question back to you. So in your case, like, have you ever been underestimated? In, for example, like you have your consultancy. My stance was more around like large corporates. Have you been underestimated just because you did not display that much confidence by, like the clients that you have or by like partners that you may be partnering with?
Yeah, again, I would say, when I was starting out, it was very difficult for me to be taken seriously. Like, I know my worth and my value, what I bring to the table, but I had to improvise a lot because with this, if you're starting your own business or you're working with startup, you're basically deciding your demographic, the user who you want to work with, and then there's like a whole spectrum of different personalities you are going to be working with, different levels of stakeholders. So eventually, at the beginning, it took me like I have to match my competence with my competence. Otherwise, this is not going to play out well. Because even though I can claim I have extensive years of experience, but if I'm not able to back up on that experience, like bring my skill to the table, the client will not take me very seriously. So
Hmm.
on that note, I feel like building my confidence every day, including whether doing a podcast, inviting different people on my channel, just simply getting out of my comfort zone, build more confidence. I think you become more confident by being more confident, or do you become more confident by improvising on your competency? Because it will take time.
Hmm. But like now, for example, that you're a leader in your space, right? Like I would say in with your startup and considering the amount of client base you have, you have a leadership role now in your kind of domain. So do you think that we somewhat overvalue confidence specifically when you're in a leadership role?
Yeah, I think because I'm in a community space where I have to decide what kind of leadership style will work with me. But on that note, when you know that people can actually look up to you, then you can falter on your confidence here. Like, this is the only
Hmm.
way to do things better from here onward. And that reminds me that if someone is really struggling with both, what is your advice here? Like, over to you.
I think like the obvious advice here would be that you do have to take both together, right? But if you're struggling with both, I would always like I'm a pro competence guy, right? Like I think that it's easier to build your confidence if you're competent. But it is not that easy to build competence if you're just a confident guy, right? Like it's not that easy. Like competence takes time. You have to really put yourself out there, challenge yourself, do a lot of different things, and then find your niche and then build towards it. Build a niche in which you start excelling, you start distinguishing yourself from the rest. So that takes time. So always, like I would say, start from that level, build your competence, build your skill set, and the confidence will surely follow as you go towards in your path. Like even in as a product guy, right? Like I have to work with so many different kinds of I have to work with designers, I have to work with developers, apart from like the stakeholders that I usually have to kind of manage the expectations for. And imagine how would they trust me if I'm just good at talking, good at kind of, like doing the sales pitch versus like actual execution or actually displaying that I can bring additional value to the team in terms of, being the voice of the customer or being a ruthless prioritizer or, like being able to manage various stakeholders effectively while shielding my team that's working on the actual execution. So they would value what my skill set is as a PM much more. And of course, when they value you, I would be able to see that, and that would eventually help me kind of build that confidence up as well.